Oh, well, you know, a lot of people think that I like Superman, but I actually wear this for Sind and for SWAT. So, I mean, that's why I'm wearing it, because I love Sind and I love SWAT, and we work there. So it's a nice conversation piece. I wear my Pink Floyd shirts a lot, and I have my different t-shirts, but I also wear this a lot. And, you know, people, they always want to talk Superman, but I want to talk Sind and SWAT. My name is Todd Shea. I am originally from Laurel, Maryland, which is in the United States, right outside of Washington, D.C. I am a logistics expert and the founder and executive director of Comprehensive Disaster Response Services. We do disaster logistics and rehabilitation and reestablishment of healthcare facilities and healthcare systems that have been damaged or destroyed in rural and disaster-affected areas. Well, you know, music is a universal way to get to people's hearts. So I've been able to bridge some Western artists with Pakistani artists, doing some music and videos or concerts or CDs, some kind of, you know, coming together of people from different cultures and different countries for the cause of helping children. I think music is a very powerful thing, and rather than use its power just to make money or do something selfish, buy a mansion or a car or get famous, I think the best use of music is when we can bridge cultures and erase misconceptions and use those projects and those you know, musical cultural exchanges and building bridges to help those in need. Fascinating. It's a fascinating place. I mean, never a dull moment in the last 9 years I've worked in Pakistan. There's always something going on. There's always something happening that needs to be taken care of, or some you know, thing that just every time I think I've seen it all in Pakistan, I see something else. Every time that I think I've tasted all the food of Pakistan, something else I discover. So it's a fascinating place, and it's you would never ever call it boring. And the people here, I think when you think of the people of Pakistan, they are so hospitable and so loving. And in spite of the fact that there is acrimony and resistance of some of the policies that the United States government has, myself as an American have been treated throughout Pakistan with so much love and affection that you know, it's quite inspiring, and I really appreciate that. The hospitality has been amazing no matter where I've gone in Pakistan, and I travel without any security. So it's not like I have this big, you know, contingent of weapons around me protecting me from people. I go wherever I go. I hang out in the bazaar, and I go to the, you know, the local joint for tea down the street, in not just in the big cities, but in places like Banu and Swat and AJK and Interior Sindh. Oh man, there's so much. I think, you know, I guess it depends on what day it is, because I mean, I love aloo keema and some really, really nice, you know, chapati. I love this, you know, when they make the local saag, I think it's like mustard leaves or something. They serve it with cornbread and butter and yogurt, and that's just amazing. A lot of the Kashmiri dishes, kofta, and I don't even know what they call it, but there's like an egg inside a ground beef surrounding it, and that's amazing. Saji, any kind of barbecue. even I'm more of a meat eater, which is great for being in Pakistan. So I love mutton and of course chicken and beef and fish. You can get great seafood in Pakistan, especially in Karachi. You can get great river fish right outside of Lahore through Multan in these areas. So I've had all that, but being a meat eater, I'm not that much into vegetables, but in Pakistan, the sabzi is amazing. So you can have just sabzi with some bread and really enjoy, because the spices and the way they cook it is so amazing. So definitely the laziz and mazadar khana of Pakistan has been a real treat. I've gone from 200 pounds when I first came to Pakistan. I now weigh 300 pounds because I love the food, and every Pakistani I meet is ready to feed the gora to thank me for serving the people of this nation. So even when I'm in America, I often stay with Pakistani American families or British Pakistani families, and it's the same thing. The culture of Pakistan is there, and they'll feed me all the time. So whether I'm in America or UK or in Pakistan, I can't get away from the food if I wanted to, and I love it so much that I don't think I'll ever be able to go back down to 200 pounds again. I think Edie Saab, to be honest with you, he's a guy that he may not ever win the Nobel Prize because he's, really doesn't kowtow to the political powers that be. He doesn't kiss their rear ends. He just does his job. And, I've met with him many times. I've worked with him, and he's a very loving human being. But he also, he holds no quarter for people that are corrupt and the corruption in this world. And he doesn't bow down to anybody. So because of that aspect of his personality, he may not be as decorated or highly awarded as others in this world may be. But the man is the real deal. And that's why I really admire him, because he's the real deal, because he does it for humanity. He doesn't do it to get the next award or the next recognition. And so people recognize that he's real and he's genuine and he's honest and he does what he says, and he's helped so many millions of people. And I'm going to have to work for a lot of years before I could even do half of what that man has done. Zabardast. I mean, Zabardast is a word that sounds like what it is. I mean, it sounds like great, fantastic, these things. You can't say Zabardast. It doesn't work. I mean, when you say Zabardast, I mean, that's how you have to say it, Zabardast. And that's the way it comes out when I say it. And I've been kind of known for that, although I'm horrible with language, and I flunked French in high school. Americans of my age, we didn't get a lot of culture and worldly language training as kids. So I guess I never developed that part of my brain to really speak fluent in another language and learn it. I've been in Pakistan for 9 years, and all I know is the abuse words and some of the key words. Kuta, Billy, Chaluji, Khubsurat, Betreen. But my favorite is Zabardast, because whenever I come across something great or something wonderful, or a friend of mine achieves something great, I just love to write that word on Facebook or tell a person that I meet who has some great news for me. Zabardast. Well, I don't know if I've had one best experience, because there have been a lot of great experiences. I think that really the best experience is whenever I'm around the kids and we're able to take an area that's been hard hit by a disaster or a flood or earthquake, and start bringing smiles to children's faces who unfortunately and sadly enough have not been smiling. So to be able to bring a smile to their faces is something that I've been able to do over the years, and those are my favorite moments, when I can interact with the kids in a playful way, or play them some music. I often play Dil Dil Pakistan for them. I learned that, and of course when you can sing in somebody else's language, even though I don't speak Urdu, I learned these songs in Urdu, and people really appreciate that, especially the kids. And even in places remote, the line of control, or in Banu, or in interior Sindh, the kids everywhere just love it when I sing for them, and brings a lot of smiles. So I think those are some of my favorite moments in Pakistan. Well, I've taken in a lot of strays. I can't see a stray kitten without grabbing it and taking it home. So we've got like 8 cats around the house. In Hurricane Katrina, I mean, I've had a lifelong love of cats and dogs, and in fact all animals, but particularly cats and dogs, and particularly cats. Those are definitely my favorite animals. And so I guess it's something about their personality that I just enjoy, and their cuteness and cuddliness, and their independent, aloof personalities. And I love dogs for all the different reasons, how loving and loyal they are. So in Pakistan, there's a lot of suffering animals. Even human beings here have a tough time getting what they need to survive. And so definitely a lot of the animals really suffer on their own and aren't taken care of. So we try to help out wherever we can. When we see stray animals, I have my team pick them up. I would love to in the future, if anybody out there ever hears this interview, I want to start a home somewhere on a piece of land, on a farm, and take in abused and stray animals and give them a home. And that would be just a wonderful thing that I'd love to do. I've done a little bit in my personal capacity to help the suffering animals here, but I'd love to be able to put together an effort. I think that when you look at a society, you can judge a society, at least in part, on how it takes care of its weakest. And unfortunately, that's one of the aspects of Pakistan where we don't take care of our weakest in society, even the human beings and the minorities and the animals. They need more support, and they need us to help. And in Islam, one thing I've learned is to save all humanity by saving one life is the greatest thing that you can do. And there's a lot of stories I've also heard in Islam about the Holy Prophet's life, where he loved cats, and that when he saw a prostitute giving a drink from her shoe to a dog who was dying of thirst, and he said all of her sins are washed away for that act of kindness. I think that tells you that the religion is saying to take care of the animals and to take care of suffering human beings. So I always encourage more of that in Pakistan. Well, I think it was a couple years after the earthquake, and we would be going in a Jeep for a 5 or 6 hour drive to some village with our doctors, and to do a medical camp in these areas hit by the earthquake. And we did that for many months and years even. And during those times, my staff would play music from Pakistan and from India. So I got to hear a lot of the music of Pakistan and India, and really started enjoying and had a lot of, as a musician, through the music you can understand the culture and the people. And it was a fascinating aspect for me, being a musician, to learn this new music that I had never heard before. And so lucky for me, I learned Dil Dil Pakistan. I was just asking my staff if they had any song in mind. So they gave me a copy of Vital Signs Dil Dil Pakistan. I learned that and I started playing that. Then I got this idea, wow, why don't I do a CD or do some music with Pakistani artists to try to, highlight the children that we're helping and the people that we're helping. So I've worked with Atif Aslam, I've worked with Strings, I've worked with Sanam Marvi, Abrar al-Haq. Some of them have been recordings, some of them have been shows, some of them have been videos. Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, there's been Zoe Vikaji, and there's been unknown musicians, local musicians from places like Peshawar and Balochistan. I've worked with the Institute for the Preservation of Art and Culture, IPAC, Kuch Khas. So we've worked with local musicians and we've worked with famous musicians. So I helped QB get her career started, and I'm very proud of the fact that when she first started, even before she started, she was doing some relief work with my team and I heard her sing, and she didn't believe me when I told her that I thought she was really just a star if she got the right break. So I introduced her to Haroon, who I've also done some work with, and he recorded her. And then she went from there, and then of course now we all know she's one of the biggest singers in Pakistan. So yeah, I really feel proud of the work that I've done with musicians in Pakistan. Done quite a few shows, and in the future we're working on some stuff with Sayan Zahoor and Sanam Marvi and Rahat Fateh Ali Khan. And again, all of this is geared around doing music and shows and interacting together so that we can bring artists from the West and artists from Pakistan together for cultural bridges and erasing misconceptions. But then at the bottom line, the real work is to support the children of Pakistan. We're also doing a project with Maria B, where we're going to be taking making products and with Swati embroidery and making clothes and shoes and giving jobs to ladies in poor villages so that they can take care of their family and be economically empowered, and that it can also raise funds to keep our hospitals and our disaster response missions going. We're working with Tawfiq Pasha Saab on that project as well, who's going to be making organic products like apricot jam and honey and candles made out of beeswax and different things that crafts and arts and organic food that's made in these very, very remote areas, and like Chitral and AJK and Interior Sindh, Balochistan, Swat, Banu. And we hope that project will be a successful worldwide brand so that it can really help fund our projects. And so we're going to have a big launch of that next year and have a lot of musicians of Pakistan support the products and do a big concert launch. So we got a lot of exciting things coming up. Well, I think there is danger here, but I also think that there's some aspect of it that's overblown. And the reason I say that is because let's say you have a piece of a puzzle. You got one piece. Well, puzzles have 1,000 pieces to them. So if I show you one piece of a 1,000-piece puzzle, then how are you going to know what the whole picture is? So yeah, the media shows that one piece of the violence and the things that happen without it being in proportion to the good people of Pakistan and the places that aren't experiencing as much turmoil. So I'm not negating that there is danger here, but if we only presented just the rapes and robberies and murders and violent crime in American cities like Detroit, then you could make the case that Detroit is, a violent, dangerous place to be. But of course, we're not looking at all the other aspects of Detroit along with it if we did that. In America, we know what else is going on in Detroit, and we know there's problems there that need to be solved. But unfortunately, in Pakistan, it's overblown. Well, I think the children of Pakistan are my favorite. You know, the children of Pakistan are never really given much attention around the world. Yes, sometimes they talk about disasters and they talk about, you know, how people need help there and kids need help in education. But really focusing on the stories of the kids of Pakistan is something that I haven't seen in the Western media until Malala became a phenomenon. So with Malala, I am really hopeful that the rest of the world and their eyes can be opened to the fact that there's millions and millions and millions of children that are just like her. And she was very courageous to stand up for education and against antiquated ways of not educating girls. But I think that the real value to Pakistan, that she's captured the world's attention and become a household name, and really the first hero of Pakistan that is recognized as a hero outside of Pakistan, is a very good thing in terms of being able to now open the door. She's cracked open the door. So now we can talk about all the children of Pakistan and let people know that there's millions and millions of more, and highlight more stories about the children of Pakistan, which will then lead to a conversation where we can talk more to the rest of the world and make them more aware of people like Edie and other heroes of Pakistan that never get any attention from the rest of the world. So I think it's a good thing that somebody has broken through, and the children of Pakistan, they need somebody like that, and they need more of their stories to be told. And they are indeed my favorite thing. And they're no doubt the best thing about Pakistan is its children.